Links to previous episodes are given in the video description, so don't forget to like, subscribe and share the video. Forsaken Luna, The Alpha's Regret. Episode 9. Chapter 91. Enzo's POV. 4 hours ago. It seems Nicholas was waiting for me because the moment the car comes to a halt in front of his house, I see him sitting on one of the cane chairs with a glass of wine twirling in his hand, and he has that annoying smirk on his face. "You came." His voice resonates in my ear. "You know why I am here, Nicholas," I tell him. "Hand her over. I do not have time for your nonsense. I only promised to hand her over to Michelle. I never agreed to let you take her back to Los Angeles with you. I have no business with you, Enzo, so you can leave." Michelle was in pain. I rake my fingers through my hair, and right now I only want to be by her side, so you better let me have her. The situation is under control, Enzo, Nicholas tells me again as he pulls his body to a standing position. "She was trying to harm herself with the chains, but I was fast enough to get to her. I don't need your explanations now, Nick," I grit in anger. "Just give her to me. Do you think you are the only one who cares about Michelle?" Now he sounds very upset. "You think you are the only one who has her interest at heart? Everything you are doing, I did for her, Enzo, so don't come at me like I never loved her." "Of course you loved her," I can't help but scoff. "But that's not the reason why I am here. We have a wedding ceremony tomorrow and I will not allow to ruin anything for us. Do you understand what I am saying to you?" Nicholas gulps and balls his hands into a fist, anger radiating from him. "How about a duel then?" His eyes light up. "If you can win me in a duel, I will let you go with Natalia, but if I win, I will make sure Michelle finds out about Maria's feelings for you." "What?" He chuckles as he starts to take slow steps towards me. "I see the way she looks at you, Enzo, and it makes me want to take Michelle away from you so fast. I don't want her to get through another messed up situation, and you know that." He is still talking when I lunge at him in anger and my fist collides with his face, making Nicholas stagger back a few steps. I grab him by the neck and push him against the wall, making him groan in pain while my claws start to dig into his flesh. "I think it is time for you to stop messing around with my woman," I growl in anger. As I am talking, some of his pack members rush towards us, but Nicholas halts them. "I will take care of him on my own," he says as his lips curl into a mocking smirk. "You very well know you cannot kill me, Enzo," he tells me. "Not when I am also a big part of your life. You know, seeing the way you held onto her like that at the party, it made me so upset that I vowed to take her away from you even if it means her corpse. I wanted to be the perfect husband and wait for her to come to me, but seeing how arrogant you are, I might as well take my pound of flesh." "She is carrying your child, isn't she? Who do we have here?" A voice asks behind us, and I turn to see Natalia walking towards us with a smirk on her face. A huge frown appears on my face when I see her. Didn't Nicholas say he had her tied up? Why was she free? In my moment of confusion, Nicholas pushes me off and backs me against a tree, and he also grabs a hold of my neck. "How dare you come into my pack and try to order me around, Enzo?" He grits in anger. "How dare you? So you were in on this?" Disbelief is written all over my face. Apparently Nicholas saw the right path, another voice says to my right, and I turn to see Adeline. He has been properly schooled and now he is one vengeful alpha. You took his bride and now he will take her back, even if it means taking back her dead body. I should have known better, Enzo, Nicholas says almost in a whisper. you and Michelle have humiliated me so much and now I am going to take my revenge. How dare you? I can't help but scoff seeing how stupid he looks. How dare you? I should have known you have always been a fool from the onset. You were never a man to begin with. I will show you what kind of person I am then, he retorts as his fist collides with mine and I immediately feel the metallic taste of blood in my mouth. He tries to hit me again but I grab onto his hand and send my claws deep inside of him, making him immobile for a moment before pushing him off. What is going on here? I ask as I walk up to Adeline. Nicholas has decided to join hands with us, Enzo, Natalia tells me, and I think you should too. You know very little about my sister and I am afraid she will usurp you from your throne very soon. Michelle is not who you think she is and I must warn you. Do you think I will go to such lengths if she was only an average wolf or because she had Nicholas? I have seen her star, Enzo, Adeline begins to tell me. She is a wolf who can take your place as an alpha. Why do you think we badly want her? You are a true blood and she is directly linked to the moon goddess. Don't you suspect foul play? Join us, Enzo, and we will expose her together, Natalia says again, and if you must know, she is the only female wolf who is born with more abilities than the rest. I think you understand what I mean. Don't be a fool, Enzo, Adeline says. The Luna you claim you love might become your master tomorrow. My eyes continue to dart across them as anger continues to resonate inside of me. How dare the three of them? Nicholas is lucky to have known her truth, Adeline says again, and now we have control over her. Just one word and she will be a done deal. That woman can take over my pack as an alpha female. I finally find my voice. Yes, Natalia answers immediately, she is not what you think she is and you must believe me. I agree I have some personal issues with her, but wolves like her need to be separated from society. She is a threat to the lot of us, and how do you want me to believe you? Do you think it was a coincidence that the two of you met? Adeline asks. The moon goddess has everything planned out and your so-called Luna is aware of it. I suggest you do the needful before she birth your baby into this world. I turn to Nicholas. Do you believe this? All I know is I am going to make her pay if you like it or not. Gritting my teeth together, I rake my fingers through my hair. Natalia, you are coming with me to Los Angeles. I need to find this out on my own. Do you understand what I am saying to you? As long as you promise to be on my side, not saying anything again, I start to walk towards my car as different thoughts continue to cloud my mind. The three of them working together to bring someone down means more than the eyes can see. I will come with you, Natalia calls after me, so you can also believe what we are saying. As I make to enter my car, Nicholas walks up to me and grabs a hold of my hand. If you want to save her as much as I want, you better go along with my plan, he whispers into my ear as low as he can get. Adeline is much more stronger than you can imagine and we cannot do this without thinking carefully. Michelle is in grave danger, so you better listen to me this time. He pushes at my chest as a smirk appears on his lips. Let's end this once and for all and I can focus on taking my wife back from you. Turning back, he walks toward the two of them. Make me believe it, I call after him, and I will help you bring her down. Now looking at the woman sleeping peacefully in my arms, I don't know why she has so many enemies, but what I know is that she is much more than I can comprehend, but that doesn't mean I will not save her from her enemies. Just a few more hours and you will be completely free, my love. I caress her hair lightly and press a kiss on her forehead. I love you so much. After that, I pick up my phone and make my way out of the room. As soon as I am out, I dial a number and put the phone against my ear. Hello, what exactly is your plan, Nicholas? I ask him. Right now I do not care if I have to work with my enemy to safeguard my woman's life, I will work with 1,000 of my enemies to protect the woman I love. It will be easier to kill Natalia on your end since you have her with you. Adeline will bring a concoction to serve Michelle, make sure Natalia takes it and we will take up from there, this better work. I grit in anger. I am also eager to have my wife back, he says from the other end, but I am more in making Natalia pay for what she did to me no matter what, leave Adeline for me. I have a score to settle with her. I end my call almost immediately and dial another number and Izzy immediately answers. Hey bro, I have one very important task for you. Izzy, what is it? No matter what happens at the wedding ceremony, you must keep Michelle safe, please. My voice trails off as I slump on the floor gently. This is my request to you. Keep her safe from everyone including me. If I become something she does not recognize. What do you mean? I can feel a sense of panic from her voice. Did something happen? Just do as I have said. I end the call and bury my face in my hands as the smiles and laughter of Michelle replays in my head. The moon goddess sure made her one of her strongest soldiers, but couldn't she have chosen someone else? Please be safe for me, I mutter under my breath as I close my eyes. Please. Michelle's POV. My eyes immediately water as soon as I set my eyes on the light blue dress in front of me. The ethereal beauty emanating from it is one to die for. This is the most gorgeous dress I have seen in my life. I can't help but run my hands through the delicate fabric as my eyes travel around it. I cannot even begin to describe the beauty and the extravagance of this dress in front of me. Clearly it is something out of this world and something no one would be able to recreate again. You like it? Maria, who is standing beside me, asks. Like? I nod my head in the negative. This is the most beautiful dress I have seen in my life, Maria. I tell her, this is heaven. I mean Enzo has brought heaven right to me because this looks amazing. The boss spent days making this dress, ma'am, she tells me. He personally hand-picked the materials and every stitch you see on it, every embroidery embedded on it are all done by hand, by the boss himself, and every line you see gliding and glazing around each other is also hand-painted by the boss himself. All I can say is that the boss really outdid himself on this way, madam. This is a work of art. A tear trickles down my eye as Maria continues to tell me about the dress. This is more than an artwork to me. This looks so amazing that I just want to keep admiring it. The door opens and Izzy saunters into the room and the expression on her face is priceless. Oh my world, her mouth hangs open in awe as her eyes drink in the sight of the dress before her. Enzo made this? We appreciate your loyalty. Apparently, I answer while folding my hands across my chest, disbelief still written on my face. Izzy walks up to the dress and runs her fingers through it. You sure are very lucky, sister-in-law, she says out loud with a huge smile on her face, because this is the best cloth I have ever seen and I am not kidding about it. I really need to see him now, I mutter to myself before going to pick up my phone, but Maria stops me. Don't you know it is a taboo to see the groom before you get on the aisle? I can't help but scoff. And who said that? It's a general ideology amongst humans. The words are out of her mouth before she can even stop herself and I can't help but chuckle lightly. Humans. Maria sounds a bit confused. I mean humans, like us. Izzy quickly jumps into her own defense. Of course, I also add. My mobile begins to ring, and when I see it is Enzo on the line, my heart skips a beat and I walk over to the bed before clicking on the receive button. "Hey hey baby," his deep husky voice reaches my ear and I can literally feel my knees go weak because of his voice. He sounds so manly and so cute. "Have you seen your dress?" he asks me again and I gulp, my eyes traveling over the dress again. I really don't know how to describe how I am feeling right now, babe. I sincerely tell him, "This is the most beautiful dress I have ever seen and I am so..." My voice trails off as tears well up in my eyes again. "I don't..." "Hey, I am coming to you now, okay?" "No," I immediately refute, and I can already imagine a frown on his face. Apparently the bride and the groom are not supposed to see each other until they walk down the aisle. Nonsense. He ends the call and I chuckle lightly. This man always does whatever he wants. I stand up from the bed and walk back to the dress, the smile on my face widening at the thought of Enzo. After a while, he pushes the door open and enters without bothering to knock, his eyes lingering on Maria, and they have a murderous look in it. "Why do you look so mad, bro?" Izzy asks him. "Apparently someone told my darling wife that we cannot meet before the wedding." He is sounding like a child that has been wronged and I can't help but burst into laughter. This big baby of mine can really be cute. "I was only stating the obvious, sir," Maria answers. "I am sorry, apologies accepted. Now can I have some alone time with my wife?" he asks them. "You have only 5 minutes," Izzy tells him. "We need to get the bride ready, just get out already." He doesn't even wait for them to leave before pulling me into his embrace and claiming my lips. "Not again," Izzy blurts before the two of them rush out of the room, leaving us to ourselves. "Why did you do that?" I ask him the moment the door closes behind them. "Are we doing something wrong?" He pulls me in and cups my bum. "You are my wife, aren't you?" "I know that, Daddy," I answer, and he nods. Good. My focus returns to dress and I can't help but smile. "How did you come up with the idea of this dress, Enzo?" This time I sound serious and interested. "This dress says a lot about you, my love," he responds. "Each line, each stroke of the paint and each embroidery is all a part of you because you are the most pure and perfect woman I have ever come across in my life." Just less than 3 months and we have had a love story that people who have been married for years cannot boast about. He places his finger under my jaw and lifts my face to meet his gaze. "I will forever bless the day I met you, my precious." "Thank you." I pounce into his embrace and he envelops me in a tight hug, his huge body holding me so close to him that I can feel his heartbeat. "Are you nervous?" I inquire and he laughs a little. "Where has it been heard that Lorenzo Phillips is nervous, my love?" So proud I smack his chest a little with a grin on my face. "But you love me, don't you?" With every fiber of my being we both stay in that position for a moment, not saying anything, but I can feel the communication through our heart and our mind. "Babe," Enzo calls out to me after a few seconds. Have you thought about the names for the kids yet?" I lift my head away from his chest. "No, why would I do that when I have you?" "You do that and I will accept any name you tell me, of course." He pulls me into his embrace again. "You know I love you, right?" "Of course, baby." I snake my hands around his torso. "I know how much you love and adore me." He pats my hair lightly. "What if one day I am not here and you..." "Stop it." I immediately cut him off as I pull away from him. "Please do not. I was only kidding, babe." He lets out a little chuckle. "You don't have to be so mad about it. Then why would you say something like that?" I roll my eyes at him. Don't even think of leaving because I will follow you to the depths of hell if need be. He laughs lightly again, and who is going to let you do that? Don't mess with me, Enzo, I warn him. I can be very vicious if I am pushed to the wall. I am sorry, Your Majesty. He pulls me into his embrace again. I was only kidding. Better a knock on the door jolts us out of our lovey-dovey moment. It is time for your makeup, ma'am, a voice says from outside as he slowly pulls away from me. You should get ready for the big moment, babe, Enzo tells me, a smile on his face. You should also get ready to bathe, I tell him too. I can't wait to see you looking all dapper in your suit. Of course he kisses me and makes to leave but halts again. If there are all boys, Jaden, Lucas, and Dwayne are the names I love, and if they are girls, Michelle, Lola and Odette are the names, but if they are a mixture of two genders, you can choose from any one the names. My forehead curls into a deep frown. What do you mean? I will also get ready now, babe. It's almost time. With one last wink at me, Enzo disappears out of the room, leaving me standing more confused than I ever could be. It was the voice of my makeup artist that jolts me out of my thoughts. Enzo's POV. Done, Izzy says as she helps me fix my tie. You look so good, brother. Thank you. I flash her a smile. How I wish Mum and Dad could see you now. They would be so proud of you. I am sure they are watching us right now, I tell her as I gently pat her hair. I am sure of that. I see tears well up in Izzy's eyes and my heart breaks into 1,000 pieces. I know the reason why those tears are in her eyes. She has been asking since yesterday and I finally told her. She was clearly my only blood on earth now and it was important that I did. At least I know she is now prepared for what is to come. Enzo. She calls out my name gently again as she slowly grabs a hold of my hand. Yes, I turn my head towards her. Wanna tell me something? Must you do this? Izzy asks. We can find another way. Michelle will be heartbroken if anything goes wrong. She will never forgive us and I am not planning on dying, Izzy. I laugh gently, but even if I do, she will be fine. She is a strong woman, my woman. Stop saying that. She angrily smacks me. How can you talk about death so casually? Look, baby, I place my hands on her shoulders. I won't get another opportunity to make Natalia and Adeline pay for what they did, so I have to do it now. Michelle is my life and I am going to make sure she is happy. You understand what I mean, don't you? I do. I just... Her voice trails off for a moment. I am scared, Enzo. What will I do if something happens to you? I won't be. Shhhh, I shush her. Just make sure to protect Michelle no matter what. Our conversation is interrupted when a knock resonates on the door. Boss, it is Mustafa. Something arrived for you, sir. Come on in. He pushes the door open and saunters into the room. You look so good, boss, Mustafa tells me. Thank you, Mustafa. I flash him a smile and he hands me the small bottle. Nicholas said to give this to you. Are you working with that jerk? Izzy flares up. Him. Relax, baby. I pat her hair lightly. I think you should go to Michelle now. We will soon be ready. I do not like this. Enzo. Izzy spits in anger before angrily leaving the room, leaving me and Mustafa alone. Is everything ready? Yes, he answers. But do you have to do this, master? Mustafa asks me. You are. Not you too. I raise an eyebrow at him. Just do as I have said and no more questions asked. Where is Natalia? She is in the room where you asked her to be. Good. I will go and see her now. Call Nicholas and tell him to proceed with whatever he wants to. With one final look at the mirror, I let out a heavy sigh as she thought of Michelle filling my mind. I don't know how today is going to turn out, but I must make sure to vindicate my wife. She has suffered so much and I no longer want to see her in pain again no matter what. Another knock comes on the door and it opens. Maria gently steps into the room. Boss, give us a minute. Mustafa, yes boss. As soon as he leaves, I turn to who has a worried expression on her face. Is everything ready? I ask her. Yes boss, but why? You are transferring everything you have into the lady boss's name and even giving her the power of attorney for everything. What exactly is going on, sir? No questions, Maria. I cut her off, and remember what I told you. If everything goes well, you can return the documents to me, and if anything happens, make sure to give them to Michelle and serve her like you have served me. Is something going to happen, Sir Enzo? Something big is going to happen, I answer. Let me have the papers. She hands them over to me and I hastily scribble my signature on them before returning them to her. Thank you. With this, I make to leave the room, but her words halt me. I don't know what you have planned, sir, but I hope everything works out perfectly for you and the madam. Gazing upon you every day has made this job very easy for me, and I hope I get to do that every day until the end. I love seeing you and Mrs. Michelle together. Please don't do anything they will cause us pain. I swallow hard as her words continue to filter into my ears. Please, you need to go to Michelle now. Not waiting for her response, I make my way out of the room and towards the yacht cabin where Natalia is. As soon as I open her door, the woman who is seated on the bed stands up and a smirk appears on her face. I was beginning to think you would not come, Enzo. Her annoying voice filters into my ear. Now I am here now, I tell her. You should be glad. Her eyes travel around me and settle on my face. A strong man like you deserves a woman like me, Enzo, and not that sister or mine. When all this is over, how about we start afresh? You are not up to my standards, Natalia, I blurt in anger. Let's not do that. I am only here to safeguard my pack and anything else is secondary. She chuckles lightly. Okay then, I see you. Now tell me, you have the concoction, don't you? She asks me. Adelina has sent it and we just need to administer it to Michelle. She knows Nicholas has sent it to you. Luckily it is a wedding ceremony slated for this evening and the moon's energy is at its peak today. The moment the moon appears in the sky, I will have to stab Michelle to death, that way I won't be affected. My heart skips a beat as I hear her. All this start and end with the moon, I see. So this concoction is to make her sleep? Not at all, we can't have a ceremony without the bride now, can we? This concoction is to make her hallucinate, Enzo, and we will do the rest smoothly. I can assure you that Michelle will die here today. I clench my fists together. How I want to grab her by the throat and sniff the life out of her. I see, and mind you, Enzo, we cannot try anything funny. Adeline will be here in a form none of us has seen before, so we cannot make any mistakes. She starts to walk towards me slowly. I do not completely trust you yet, Enzo, but since Adeline said a lot about you, I will accept you in our camp. Mind you, even if you are trying to do this to save her, it won't work this time, Enzo. I didn't come this far to let Michelle go scot-free again. This is the level to which I am allowed to tell you and Nicholas, Adeline, and I will take care of the rest. One question though, Natalia, I try to hide the loathing in my voice. Aren't you connected to her? What happens if she is stabbed before the moon comes out after taking this? You don't think I am stupid, do you? Answer me or you feed her this yourself. She clenches her teeth together while my face creases into a mocking smirk. Then we will both die, Enzo. She tells me, there is nothing you can do even if you want to save her. I promise you. With that she dusts some invisible dirt from my suit before flashing me a smile. Why don't I give my sister a farewell apology before she finally joins our dear parents? Not waiting for my response, Natalia turns around and walks out of the room while my phone starts to ring. Seeing it is Izzy, I immediately answer before pressing it against my ear. It is already 6. Enzo. Her voice filters through. Come to the arena now. Michelle is ready to work down the aisle. I am on my way. I immediately end the call and dial Nicholas's number almost immediately, and he answers on the first ring. Change of plans, I tell him. What the heck do you mean? Natalie and Adeline didn't tell the whole truth, I tell him as I clench my fist together. Whether Michelle takes the concoction or not, she is bound to die if she gets stabbed the moment the moon hits the sky. The concoction was just a distraction, you bastard. Anger resonates over me. Nicholas mutters. I have a plan, but I am not sure if it will work. Just be at that arena once you see Natalia. Adeline will hear in a form we have not seen before. What are you planning on doing? Nicholas asks me from the other end. Just be there when I say you should be there. I end the call and make my way out of the cabin again while dialing a number, and Xavier answers on the first ring. Master, bring my sword to the wedding hall, I tell him, and end my call immediately before hastening towards the wedding hall. Michelle's POV. Thank you, I say to the lady who has just given me a drink of water from the refrigerator in my room. You are welcome, ma'am. She bows lightly, and in no time she is out of the room while the look on my face remains expressionless as I continue to stare back at myself in the mirror. It is time to walk down the aisle, sister-in-law Izzy tells me as she helps to readjust the silver crown on my head. Is there something you are not telling me, Izzy? I ask as I turn away from the mirror and turn my head towards her, and I see a look of confusion flash through her face. What do you mean, sister-in-law? My mind drifts off to what Natalia told me a few minutes ago. I had no idea she was on the yacht with us. Enzo didn't make mention of that. Even before we left the house in his private jet, I requested to meet Natalia, but he refused and wouldn't let me. Natalia had told me something about Enzo, but I didn't quite understand it, and when I wanted to ask her, Izzy came into the room and she left. We appreciate your loyalty. Is there something I do not know about, Izzy? I ask her again. You are being paranoid, sister-in-law, she responds. Today is your big day, you shouldn't think of irrelevant things, okay? But everyone is waiting for you, she cuts me off. We should go now. The door opens and Maria ventures into the room with a huge grin on her face. It is time, ma'am. I turn my attention to the mirror again and force a smile on my face. I'm a bit nervous. You shouldn't be, Maria tells me. As long as you are with the boss, everything will be fine. I know, I just... We should go, sis, Izzy tells me again. The boss is already waiting for you, Maria announces. He wants to walk you down the aisle himself. My heart skips a beat at her statement. I didn't expect Enzo to do that. Pushing all thoughts of negativity to the back of my head, I pull my body out of the chair and the two of them help to arrange my clothes. I glance at the time and it is a few minutes away from 7 and I let out another sigh. Fine, let's be on our way. The three of us makes our way out of the room and I meet Enzo down the hallway, his eyes twinkling at the sight of me. You look so gorgeous, babe, he whispers into my ear. You look dashing too, I tell him, his navy blue suit looking so good and exquisite on his body. You are the star of the day. He presses a gentle kiss on my hand. Shall we? As Enzo takes my hand in his and we slowly start to walk down the aisle with all eyes on me, I know for a fact that something is just not right. Everyone in the audience looks so happy to see us, but Natalia, why is she attending my wedding and Nicholas too? Did Enzo invite them? You know, I have always imagined how I was gonna get married. Enzo's voice filters into my ear and I slowly turn my head to him. You are going to do something today, won't you? I ask and he chuckles lightly. You know me so well, don't you? I shake my head in the negative as I hold on to him tightly. Please do not do this, Enzo, I beg him. Don't leave me. I am not leaving you, baby, he tells me as the smile on his face intensifies. I am never leaving you, and that's a promise. I do not believe you. I come to a sudden halt in the middle of the aisle and turn my full body towards him. Please, baby, I cup his face in my hands. I will be more than willing to do anything for you. Please don't leave me. I am not leaving you. Kitten, he whispers into my ear. I swear, Nicholas. His name is out of my mouth before I can even stop myself, and I see Enzo's forehead crease into a slight frown. Why are you here, Nick? Are you okay, babe? He asks and tries to touch me, but I immediately shove his hand away. How dare you try to touch me? I half yell at the top of my voice. Enzo. I continue to call out his name, Lorenzo. The man in front of me touches me again, but I can only see the disgusting face of Nicholas, and I am not sure why I can see Natalia now instead of Nicholas. What the heck is happening? I mutter to myself as I try to calm myself down, but it is of no use. My head is beginning to bang so hard against my skull, and it seems like I am going to lose all of my consciousness soon. Michelle. I hear Enzo's voice from a distance and I jolt back to reality. Now he is the one standing in front of me with a scowl on his face. Are you okay? What happened? He asks me frantically. I think our concoction is beginning to work, Enzo, Natalia says as she comes to stand beside him, and a huge frown appear on my face. Your would-be wife looks like she just saw a ghost. What? I look around the room and for a moment it feels like I am surrounded by my enemies, because right now everyone looks creepy and weird. Enzo. I feel a tightening in my throat. Michelle. Enzo grabs a hold of me. What? It is of no use now, Enzo, Natalia tells him. She has taken the concoction Adeline has prepared. What? I have it with me. Enzo begins to check his pockets while Maria bursts out laughing. You think I will trust you and Nicholas enough to give you something so important? She slowly begins to walk towards us. Maria. I can hardly believe my eyes. I have been a witch all my life, she continues. I know when someone is trying to play over my intelligence. I open my mouth to speak, but the tightening in my throat increases again and I suddenly begin to feel hot. I look around the room again and most people are already gone. What in the moon goddess's name is happening right now? We have come to the end of your life, my dear sister, Natalia tells me. And even Enzo cannot help you this time. Nicholas half yells and runs towards us, but Maria is faster and gets him entangled in her witch web, trapping Nicholas. The moon is at its peak now, my lady, Natalia announces, and by now, my whole body is beginning to burn up. Enzo grabs a hold of me and I can see fear in his eyes for the first time. You trust me, don't you? He whispers into my ear and I nod frantically, tears welling up in my eyes. Enzo, you. Listen to me, babe. He pulls me into his embrace, before the concoction takes over you completely. You have to listen to me, Michelle. Right now I only want to save you and the babies, and I do not care about myself. Every 100 years, a true blood is born, and I just found out that I am the second to be born in my lineage, and therefore my blood can destroy anything. Today, I am going to take Adeline and Natalia with me to hell, and you to stay strong for me. No tears well up in my eyes. Enzo, you promised me, please, you are a strong woman, baby, he whispers again, and we do not have much time left. You are about to lose all sense of reasoning, and I am sorry I didn't keep an eye on you and you took the concoction. I just need you to do something for me until you hear Nicholas or Izzy's voice. Please do not open your eyes no matter how intense it gets. No, Enzo, please. By now tears are flowing from my eyes in torrents. It feels like 1,000 needles have been pricked into my body and immense pain envelopes me. I love you, Michelle. I love you so much, and you know that. No, baby? Please. I cling on to him as the feeling envelops me. Please. I am sorry. With a gulp, Enzo turns away from me and faces them. If anyone is going down today, it will be the three of us, he tells them. Let me see you pass through a true blood, so you cracked the code. Maria growls in anger. Be my guest then. Enzo rushes towards her, and just as I make to run after him, someone grabs a hold of me from behind and covers my eyes. For tonight, let me protect you, Michelle. His voice filters into my ear, and I freeze right in my spot as tears continues to stream down my closed eyes. Michelle's POV. I frantically open my eyes as a slight groan leaves my mouth, and I push myself to a sitting position, my eyes searching the room frantically and my teeth clenching in anxiety. I try to push my body out of bed, but the pain lingering in my stomach halts me and I wince in pain. For a moment, memories of what happened flash through my head, but I am unable to decipher anything because the last I remember was someone covering my eyes. Enzo. His name rolls out of my lips as my eyes dart across the room. Neither is his scent lingering anywhere, or can I feel a sense of him. Enzo. I call out again, and immediately the door pushes open and my heart skips a beat. A sigh of disappointment leaves my lips when I see Izzy saunter into the room. Sister-in-law. A small smile appears on her face. You are awake. Where is Enzo? Izzy. I ignore the pain lingering in my tummy as my eyes continue to search her face for an answer. Right now, the only person I want to see is Enzo, my Enzo. This is the first time in my life that I am scared of losing someone. I did not feel this way when I even signed the divorce papers with Nicholas, or even when I lost my parents, but waking up and not seeing this man beside me, it feels like my whole life has come to an end. I asked you a question, Izzy. I force the words out of my mouth again. Where is my husband? You just woke up, sister-in-law, Izzy tells me. You don't need to stress yourself out. Where the heck is Enzo, Izzy? Tears are already welling up. The door opens again and the man of my dreams saunters into the room. He looks like he was in a hurry because he was breathing fast. My heart skips a beat as soon as I set my eyes on him, and the tears finally fall out of my eyes. Enzo. Not bothering about my pain, I jump out of the bed and rush into his embrace before burying my face in the crook of his neck. Gosh, I thought I was never going to see this man again. I thought everything was over, but here he was in my arms again. Thank you for not dying on me, Enzo, I whisper into his ear as he envelopes Ma in a bear hug. Thank you for not leaving me. Thank you for not leaving us. The tears continue to fall as we continue to stand in that position for a while. our bodies pressing against each other and our minds working in sync. How do you feel now, my love? He asks me, his hand patting my hair gently. Please don't scare me like this again, Enzo. I pull away from him and he slowly wipes my tears. I will give you two some alone time, as he says, and leaves the room. No tears, baby, Enzo tells me as a small smile appears on his face. You are safe now. How about you? I check his body but I don't find any injury on his body, but something seems off about him. You shouldn't be out of bed, kitten. He picks me up princess style and takes me back to the bed before lowering me on it. After that, he perches on the space beside me as the smile on his face continues to linger. How long was I out for? 3 days. Enzo takes my hand in his and gently massages it. I am glad you are awake now, my love, he further adds. What really happened, Enzo? Why do you sound so different? And of course I am fine. He presses a kiss on my hand. I am just overwhelmed that you are awake. I was getting really worried, but seeing that you are awake now, I feel extremely relieved. These past 3 days have been hell for me. I was losing my mind. Why did you have to do it, babe? I slowly pull my body to a sitting position. Why did you have to put your life on the line like that? Adeline could have hurt you, Natalia. At the mention of Natalia, my forehead creases into a small frown. Natalia can no longer harm you, babe, Enzo tells me, and my eyes open wide for a moment. What? That's not something to bother yourself with at this time, babe, he tells me again. You suffered a major impact that day and you slipped into a slight coma, and now that you are awake, I don't want to stress you out with such trivial things. We will talk about this when you are strong and ready, okay? I just came back from jogging. I will take a shower and come, okay? I answer with a nod, and Enzo smiles again before pulling his body out of bed, but before he goes, I grab onto his hand. Is everything all right? I ask him. Is there something you are not telling me? I am fine, babe, he replies, and I will tell you everything in due time. Trust me. Placing another kiss on my forehead, he turns around and walks out of the room. My eyes follow him until he leaves the room and a sigh leaves my lips. I have a feeling that Enzo is not happy, but he is not telling me about it. He is pretending, and I can see right through his facade. Closing my eyes, I try to remember what happened that night, but the memory remains blurry, something out of my grasp. Enzo. His name rolls out of my lips as a tear trickles down my left eye. I should be happy. I am fine and Enzo is fine. Natalia is also out of our lives, but why do I feel this immense pain, like I shouldn't have woken up? I am not sure for how long I have been in that position until my door opens again and his scent filters into my nose. I open my eyes and catch a sight of him walking towards me, all dressed up in comfortable home clothes, and no matter what, his handsomeness is still something I cannot get over. Hey I will help you take a shower, okay? Izzy opted to make you some food. I am not particularly hungry, I just want to take a shower and that's all nonsense. Enzo will hear nothing of it. You will have some food after taking a shower. I have called Lawrence and he will be here soon as you wish. He continues to stare back at me, his gaze softening with each passing minute. The mark on your neck too is gone, he tells me, and I immediately feel it. Truthfully, it is gone. Aren't you happy? I will only be happy if you are happy, Enzo. Of course, princess. He massages my thighs lightly. I am too happy that I am unable to show it. He picks me up and takes me into the bathroom before removing the silk dress on my body. After helping me sit on the edge of the bathtub, he proceeds to help me and wash my hair. You were in a coma for 3 days, I couldn't wash your hair so I will wash it for you now, okay? He starts to wash my hair gently as I continue to stare back at him through the mirror in the bathroom. So won't you tell me now, babe? I ask him, why do you look so sad despite achieving everything you set out to do? I am not sad, so tell me for a moment. He stops washing my hair and his gaze rests on me. Do not think for a moment that I am not happy, baby. I am very excited, liar, I swear on the moon goddess. He put his hand under my jaw and lifts my head. Do meet his gaze. You mean the world to me and we both know that, so tell me, what happened? Enzo lets out a heavy sigh as he resumes washing my hair again. Every 100 years, true blood is born and I am the second to be born in my lineage. The night I went to bring Natalia with me, Adeline told me about it, but I didn't linger on that much. It just occurred to me that I could mean something great and I had to put it to good use that night. After you took that concoction, I couldn't help but blame myself. It was my mistake to have left you alone like that. I felt like my whole world came to a standstill when you took that concoction, but I am glad you were fine and nothing major happened. As for Natalia, his voice trails off for a moment, his jaw tightening against each other. Tell me, what happened? Everything happened in the heat of the moment. Natalia was badly wounded in the process and Adeline took her away before I could give my final blow, but the mark on your back is gone, so I am certain she is dead, but I am still looking for Adeline. I just want you to be rest assured that you are safe and no one can harm you again, my love. For a moment I keep silent to stop the tears that have welled up in my eyes again. This man. He never fails to amaze me. He always puts his life on the line because of me. This time around I almost lost him all because of that. Have you found a clue on them yet? Not yet, he nods in the negative, but Nicholas is looking for them. I see, babe, this time. He holds onto my hand gently. I am going to tell you something, but I don't want you to freak out, okay? My heart skips a beat at his outburst. It turns out that the pack fight that claimed the lives of your parents trying to save Nicholas was all orchestrated by the Zia clan. Apparently they have had their eyes on you for the longest of time, and that's why they didn't hesitate to take the offer when Natalia told them about you being her sister. But I know for a fact that they cannot harm you through the bond between you and Natalia anymore. You are free to do whatever you want now, and I will make sure to keep my promise to you. No, I place my index finger on his lips. You have done more than enough, Enzo. I won't allow you to put yourself in the face of danger anymore. I saw death and I didn't die, babe. I cannot die now. He caresses my cheek lightly, but I am glad that you are safe now. That's the most important thing. I want you to focus on your life and your pregnancy. Do not for any reason think about Natalia or Adeline again. They are part of your past now, Enzo. He interrupts me immediately. I am serious, Mish, so what's the next step now? Our honeymoon. His face breaks into a small smile. I have been waiting for you to get out of that bed and take a tour with me around the world. Didn't what happened cause a stir? I mean, the media was also there. He chuckles lightly. You can watch the news after you shower, okay? For the first time since I woke up, I saw a genuine smile on his face and I want it to remain there forever. With this man, there is no hurdle I will not be able to cross no matter what. And I also have a surprise for you after this. He whispers over my hair before pulling me into a kiss. Enzo's POV. I have just stepped out of the shower when my mobile begins to ring again. In the past 3 days, I have been receiving a lot of calls and I know this is also linked to it. What happened on the yacht caused a huge stir on the internet, and I have done a lot to bring down some of the news. Luckily the part of either of us being a supernatural being is still under wraps, but the headlines were all about Avanti and the bloodbath. Thinking back about it, I actually didn't do anything to stop the situation on board. I was only concerned about my wife and her safety. Luckily those who were hurt were all taken to the hospital on time and it wasn't so severe, only I suffered a major hit. Thinking about it now, it kind of hurts a little, but the pack healer is doing a good job in managing it, at least until I am able to get an antidote for it. Add line, that bastard. I jolt back from my thoughts again when the beeping of my mobile reaches my ear again, and I click on the receive button before pressing it against my ear. Tell me you should watch the news, boss, Maria tells me from the other end, and my forehead creases into a slight frown. Just tell me what is going on. Michelle has woken up and I want to be by her side. I have no time to watch the television. Most of the news stations are still repeatedly talking about the incident, sir. Even after Avanti released its official statement, sue all of them for defamation. I will make sure to crush their companies to the ground. Yes sir. My eyes darken as I end the call. I will no longer be lenient with any of them. They have bitten more than they can chew. My door opens and Izzy saunters into the room with an expressionless look on her face. Her eyes travels around the room but me, and I can't help but scoff. If you have any sense of shame left, you would leave the room. I have seen you in a towel time without numbers, Enzo, she says while rolling her eyes. You are my brother. Tell me, why have you come? I make my way into the walk-in closet and in no time, I am out putting on a robe. Luckily, Michelle is sleeping after taking her medication, and I used that opportunity to take a shower and go back to her before she wakes up. Here she drops the small bottle on the bedside table. The pack healer asked me to give you this. How long before the antidote is ready? I inquire while picking up the bottle, and I immediately chug down the whole content of it. Not sure, Enzo. She hasn't told me anything yet. Tell her to be fast about it. I don't have much time. No one told you to be stabbed by a witch. Enzo. Izzy rolls her eyes again. You have kept me on my toes for the past 3 days and I haven't even spent enough time with my mate. You are draining all of my energy. When I die, you will spend enough time with Xavier, I retort, and an angry look appears on her face. Say that one more time and I will push a knife through your throat, so tell her to get fast with it, won't you? Tell Michelle. No, I blurt immediately. She is finally going to forget about everything and focus on her life now. I can take care of this. Izzy rolls her eyes to the back of her head before standing up from the bed. At this point, I cannot talk you out of the love you have for her, so I will just let you do you. I will go home now. Xavier promised me a full body massage, so I should head out now. Take care of yourself. I press kiss on her forehead and watch her walk out of the room. My hand moves towards my chest and I let out a slight grunt. Thankfully the wound is not visible or Michelle would have seen it by now. I just want her to be happy now. I no longer want to see pain or suffering in her eyes anymore, and if keeping my pain to myself is going to give my baby that peace of mind, then I am willing to keep my pain to myself. Michelle will have our heads for this if she finds out, my wolf warns me, and I scoff. She will not find out. Taking one last glance at myself, I also make my way towards my wife's room. As soon as I open her door, I catch a glimpse of my woman sleeping peacefully on the bed and my lips curl into a small smile. I slowly walk to the bed and lay beside her, and she snuggles into my embrace, her eyes fluttering open in the process. Were you waiting for me? Michelle nods as she pulls close to me again. our bodies pressing against each other and her face breaking into a small smile. "You smell so nice, babe," she further adds. "I wish I can eat you up right now. Too bad you can't." I place my hand underneath her jaw and lift her head to meet my gaze. "We can't do anything now. You are already in the second trimester of your pregnancy. We ought to be careful." You sound like you have been schooled about this." "I have been reading books. And I talked to a few gynecologists at the hospital. The past 3 days have really been hectic for me, but I am glad you are alive and well. It's all thanks to you." Michelle kisses my lips gently as the smile on her face intensifies. "Now I cannot wait to go for that honeymoon, of course, baby." She lays her head on my chest and we both stay silent. Different thoughts running through our minds. "You said you had a surprise for me earlier." Her voice penetrates into my ears and I chuckle lightly. "I knew you were about to ask that, master." A familiar voice resonates in the room, cutting me off from what I am about to say. "What is it?" "Someone has come to see you, sir," she answers. "Mr. Nicholas." At the mention of Nicholas, I see Michelle roll her eyes and an angry expression starts to form on her face. "Tell him to wait on the porch." "Yes, sir." I hear her footsteps die away from the hallway, and this is when I fixate my attention on the lady beside me who still looks annoyed. "Why do you look so mad, babe?" "Everything is over, Enzo. Nicholas no longer needs to come here. He is clearly a jinx. I no longer want to entertain anyone or anything from my past anymore, and it involves Nicholas. Please." She is clearly angry and I can see it. I can see right through her emotions and I cannot blame her, even till the end. That man only thinks about himself. I remember how he tried to steal her away that day on a different yacht. Thinking about it and my blood boils with anger. "I know, baby." I flash her a smile. "You do not have to see him. I will meet him and come back, okay?" "Fine." She does that thing with her eyes again before laying back on the bed and closing her eyes. For a moment I wonder if rolling her eyes hurt her. I will talk to her about stopping it. After a few seconds, I also make my way out of the room and the smile on my face disappears. My wife is the only woman who is allowed to see my goofy side. As soon as I step on the porch, I catch sight of Nicholas and he also stands up as soon as he sees me, his forehead creasing into a frown. "I wasn't expecting to see you." Words do travel fast. My eyes size him up from head to toe. "Why have you come to me?" "I heard that she is awake, but that is none of your business, right? Are we back to fighting now?" "We have always been fighting, Nicholas," I tell him. "Maybe you took me as a friend, but I have always seen you as an enemy, get that? From your tone of voice and your arrogance, I am sure I was informed correctly." Michelle really is awake now. A look of relief flashed through his face. "Do not come looking for my wife anymore, Nicholas. This is the most serious I can be. Her parents already paid the price for you and I do not intend on putting her life in danger anymore, so stop coming to her and forget about her. I will not be warning you again. You have been unable to stop me in the past and you cannot stop me now." An annoying smirk appears at the base of his lips. "Did you tell her about your injury? Did you tell her about the fact that you were wounded by a witch and could die?" "What?" a voice says behind me and a glass shatters on the ground. We both turn immediately to see Michelle looking like she has just seen a ghost. Michelle's POV. "I was getting tired of waiting for Enzo to come back and I decided to go and meet him only for me to hear what had happened, and he didn't even tell me. He decided to keep it a secret from me for reasons best known to him. How dare he hide something so important from me?" Looking at the two of them, I felt like giving Enzo a tight slap across the face. "Hey!" A fake smile appears on his face. thought you said you were not coming down. So you could lie your way around again? I ask with a raised brow while walking towards him. The pain in my stomach has not completely gone, so I am walking as slow as I can be, not wanting to intensify it. So you clearly didn't tell her. A mocking smirk appears on Nicholas's face as he folds his hands across his chest. You always want to play the good guy, don't you? I wasn't talking to you, Mr. Woodsborne, I snap at him. So get out of my face, and why are you even here? Aren't you supposed to be mourning for your dead lover? We appreciate your loyalty. I can't help but roll my eyes at him. You disgust me more each day, and I will forever wonder why I was married to you in the first place. I think your pregnancy hormones have kicked in. Mish. Nicholas starts to talk again, but I grab a hold of Enzo's hand and pull him into the house, closing the door with a loud bang. As soon as we enter, I let go of his hand and turn to the one of the workers who is just passing by. I want you to tell all the workers, that man outside is not allowed to come into this compound again. Okay, lady boss. She goes on her way, and I return my focus to Enzo, whose gaze is still on me, and I can see him struggling to contain the smile that is threatening to burst out of him. What do you think you are doing? I ask him. What do you mean? Enzo asks back with a raised eyebrow. First of all, who am I to you? My wife, he answers nonchalantly. So I am only available when you want to share your joy and not your sadness or your pain. The more I think about it, the more upset I become. What nonsense are you talking about now, kitten? He tries to hold me, but I shove away his hand, a deep frown appearing on my face. Is that what our relationship is about? Now you are taking this too far, babe, Enzo retorts with a pout on his face, and I can't help but scoff. How can he be so manipulative? I am taking this too far. I scoff. You got injured and you didn't bother to tell me, and I am taking it too far? Like seriously? Look, I am fine. He begins to touch his body in a playful manner, and I swear I have never been so mad in my life. I am fine, do not mind that bastard, Enzo further adds again. Nicholas clearly said you could die. Are you joking with me right now? You know you shouldn't stress yourself out, right? You are pregnant, and I said do not mind Nicholas. He is just a hater, that's all. Tell me the truth, Lorenzo Phillips, babe, now. Fine. He lets out another sigh. You are literally scaring me with your anger right now. Spill. I fold my hands across my chest, waiting for him to say something. Adeline got me wounded in the process, but I am fine. The pack healer is trying to come up with the antidote, and I will be fine after taking it. Satisfied now? He pulls me in by my waist. You don't have to be too upset, babe. You are making me scared of you right now. Oh please. I roll my eyes to the back of my head. I hate the fact that you take things too casual, even if you shouldn't. I am your wife, but you didn't feel the need to let me in on this one. Do you only consider me as someone who causes trouble and you always have to save? A scowl makes its way to Enzo's forehead as I wriggle out of his embrace. I am tired. Not waiting for his response, I turn around and walk towards the elevator. I am not mad at him. I am only mad at myself for always putting him in the face of danger every single time. My thoughts are interrupted when the mobile in my hands begins to beep, and when I see the caller ID, I answer after a while. Hello ma'am, it is Maria. It is good to have you back, ma'am. I can feel a smile on her face. Thank you. Tell me. Why have you called? Some documents require your signature, ma'am, she tells me, and my forehead creases up. You have been out for 3 days and we had to halt some operations since we couldn't get your signature and Enzo? Why didn't he sign them? The lady from other end breathes heavily. In his words he said, "From now on, I am only going to focus on being a husband while my wife runs the company. You might not know this, but he has transferred everything under his name to yours and now he won't make any decisions about the company, Enzo." I grit in anger. How can he be so childish even at a time like this? "I will talk to him and give you a call." I end my call and press the elevator button. The moment it opens, I see Enzo leaning on the wall as if he knew I was going to come back. "You are back. Why did you transfer your property into my name?" I go straight to the point. "Technically it is half. I have already transferred the other half to you. Remember, you still haven't answered my question, Enzo." I have the inkling to smack him James across the face. "I am tired of it, so you take care of it now." A smile is lingering on his face, "and I know you will do a good job. I just want to focus on you and our babies and you, my love." He pulls me into his arms. Cannot talk me out of it. For a while I am silent because I genuinely do not know what to say. How can he take things like these too casually? "Your properties are worth billions of dollars. Aren't you afraid that I may run away with it?" "You can." He kiss my lips gently. "As long as you take me with you." I can't help but laugh despite my anger. This man sure knows how to make me laugh even if I am upset. "You have a way with words, Enzo. I learned it from you, my love." He kisses me again, and I want to keep doing that forever. That doesn't stop the fact that I am still mad at you. You kept important informations from me. I didn't mean to do that, kitten. He rakes his fingers through my hair. I didn't want to bother you with something so trivial. You just woke up and I wanted you to focus on getting better. All I can see is the sincerity pouring out of his eyes, and once again, I wish the babies inside of me belonged to him. This man is the epitome of grace, love, and everything in between. "I love you so much, babe," I tell him, "but you make me really mad at times." "If I don't make you mad, who will?" He pulls me into his embrace and yanks me off the ground. "You are lucky I can't punish you for your attitude now, or I would have him." A small smile begins to tug at the edge of my lips. "So now you want to be a henpecked husband? Is there anything else lower than that?" Enzo inquires, his voice full of mockery and sarcasm. "Get lost." I wrap my hand around his neck and kiss the tip of his nose. "So what about the surprise you said you had for me? Don't you ever forget?" "No." I nod in the negative as a smile creeps up on his face. The doorbell rings and both our attention turns towards it. I am guessing that is the surprise. As soon as the door opens with my legs still wrapped around my husband, my eyes open wide as soon as I see my aunt standing outside the door and her mouth also hangs open in awe. Nicholas's POV. Finally, I see her fragile figure walking up the alley towards her house, an AirPod stuck to her ear and her attention on her phone. I have been waiting for her for quite some time now, and luckily she is back. I have an inkling that whatever she is looking at in her phone is somewhat related to her love interest, and it makes me all giddy with excitement. Looking at her, I can't help but wonder what she loves so much about that bastard. That same bastard that I want to kill and send back to the moon goddess. After a while, she comes to a halt in front of me and her forehead creases into a frown when she sees me. Removing the AirPod from her ear, a scowl also appears on her face. "You? What are you doing here?" This is where you live?" I ask her. Isn't it too simple for someone working with Avanti? "I asked you a question, Mr. Woodsborne." Maria rolls her eyes. what are you doing here and how did you find my house? It was pretty easy, I tell her. You are not some mysterious woman. Finding your house was easy. Are you a creep? She folds her hands across her chest. Even my boss does not know where I live. My face curls into a small smirk. You must really love your boss for his name to be the first you speak of. Maria, what do you want from me? The frown on her face grows deeper. A language. I tell you. I walk up to her slowly, my huge frame towering above her. I have come here on a good note. We shouldn't spoil the fun now, should we? I had a very busy day, Mr. Woodsborne. She finally finds her voice. I need to go in and take some rest because tomorrow will be equally as busy. After talking she makes to leave, but my next words halt her. Have you ever thought about being with your boss whom you love so much? What? She returns her focus to me abruptly. What did you say? I see her gulp and it confirms my suspicions. She is definitely head over heels for Enzo. You heard me correctly, Maria, I tell her. I hate to repeat myself. Excuse me, but I don't understand the fact that you come into my space and speak to me in such a manner. I do not appreciate it. Why are you so uptight when it comes to your boss? You are so protective about a man who is married. Look, Mr. Woodsborne, this time. Her voice is calm and collected. I really don't know why you are here or what brought you to my house, but I do not like the fact that you are speaking to me in such a way. Look, I know exactly who and what you are and I am not scared of you even in the least. I know you won't be able to hurt me in a neighborhood such as this, so I will speak freely. I have never mentioned anything about being in love with my boss to you and I hope this will not escalate further than this. I love my job and that's the most important thing to me right now. She pauses for a while, her gaze traveling around my body and settling on my face. And if for anything, you shouldn't even be walking freely, not when even the media is on your trail. I mean, the saga between you and your ex-wife isn't complete yet. I see another smirk appears at the base of my lips. I should have been angry at her outburst, but rather I find her hilarious. I have only come to tell you one thing, my dear. I bent slightly to her level. Just one word from you and I will help you achieve your dream of being with Enzo Phillips and I will get my wife back. The lady in front of me begins to laugh. I must have said something funny to warrant such a reaction from her. So it all comes back to you, Mr. Woodsborne? You are standing in front of me because you still want to get your ex-wife back? Do you think you can get her back? Maria places both hands on her waist as her eyes continue to linger on me. In 3 months, Mr. Enzo has made her into a queen. Do you think you will be able to match up to his energy? Look, let me tell you something and I will be direct to you. Nicholas, you are not some roadside scum and you are a big name on your own. Please stop coming after my boss's wife like some kind of creep. It doesn't speak well of you. How dare you? Anger immediately surges through my entire body and I grab a hold of her neck before shoving her against the wall. How dare you speak to me in such a manner? You came at me first, Mr. Woodsborne. She forces the words out of her mouth. You came to me and made a mockery of how I feel and I am sorry, but I will not allow you to do that. You might as well take my life if you so dare. For a moment I continue to stare back at her, wondering what this lady in a flay dress is all about. How come she has no fear whatsoever even if she knows what I am and what I am capable of doing? Do you know who I am? I very well know you, but that doesn't mean I will let you make me feel like I am not trying. Yes, I am in love with him, but I have my boundaries and I will not break another woman's home for my selfish desires. Maybe you should have thought about that before serving Michelle the divorce papers. She continues to look back into my eyes, tears welling up in it. I can feel her guts and I can feel her fear. Rather than getting angrier, I slowly let go of her neck and she begins to cough. We will meet again, Maria. With that, I turn around and walk towards my car, but before I can open the car door, I feel someone is behind me and I turn to see her. You have done more than enough harm now, Mr. Woodsborne. I suggest you give up now, not until I take back what belongs to me, and you are going to help me in achieving that. Do you understand that? Clenching my fist together, I enter my car and zoom off immediately before my anger escalates further and I actually kill her. Who the heck is she and how dare she speak to me in that manner? It is all Enzo's fault. Even a lowly human like her will speak to me in such a manner. The more I dwell on it, the more upset I become and I want to sniff the life out of all of them. After a few seconds, my mobile begins to ring and I pick it up. Boss Pete's voice filters through. Tell me she is an orphan, boss, he answers from the other end. Nothing particular about her. She just works for Avanti, that's all. Nothing about her background. No, boss. After her parents died, she was raised in an orphanage until she was adopted by British parents and later came back to America 6 years ago, and that was when she began to work for Avanti. Keep digging. I end the call as the thought of her winds its way into my head again. She must have encountered something to make her fearless of me. My lips unknowingly curl into a smirk despite the anger brewing inside of me. She must know well not to go against me. Enzo's POV. My eyes flutter open and I am somewhat surprised to see Michelle in front of me with a huge smile on her face. Yesterday she refused to sleep in our room and opted to stay with her aunt and left me sulking all night. I didn't want to regret bringing her aunt, but as soon as the lady came, she took my wife away from me and I was not happy about it. Seeing her smiling back at me now, I feign anger and just continue staring back at her. Good morning, hubby. Michelle's voice reaches my ears as she presses a kiss on my forehead. I hope you had a good night's sleep. As if I roll my eyes to the back of my head, didn't you leave me because of your aunt? Of course I did, she answers nonchalantly. Next time you hide things from me, I will send you packing out of my house. My eyes open wide for a moment. Is she trying to exercise her rights now? This woman is surely a willy one. I never expected you to change so soon. Of course, she laughs heartily and my lips curl up. I am glad. Since you have had enough sleep, I think it's time for you to get ready and leave for work. I need more money in my account. I lean back against the headboard as I continue staring back at her. Her baby bump is getting bigger and it looks so cute on her. I just want to grab her and eat her up. Why are you staring at me like that, Mr. Enzo? Her voice jolts me out of my thoughts. I am thinking of all the bad things I will do to you after you give birth, wife, I tell her with a raised brow, and I can immediately see the color rush on her face. Oh, Michelle, I cannot wait. We still have 5 more months, so I guess you still have to wait for that long. Now get up and get ready. You need to go to the office. I am not going anywhere, I blurt out. You own the business now, so you will take care of it. I am pregnant, Enzo. She rolls her eyes at me. Do you expect me to stress myself out? That's why you are the boss, I tell her. You can delegate to your employees, but I will stay at home and take care of you today. You can take me to court. Michelle is silent for a while. I can see the calculative look on her face and I know she is about to pull a fast one on me. I know this woman too well. What if I tell you that I have a surprise for you when you come back? What is the surprise? I won't tell until you come back. Her finger slowly caresses my bare body, but I am sure you will love it. She press forward and place a wet kiss on my ear, making my whole body to reverberate in her arms. You know what I mean, don't you? I gulp. This woman will surely be the death of me. Looking down at my pants, I let out a frustrated sigh and a little giggle leaves her mouth. You are already hard, you caused it, I grit. Now you have to tame it or I won't leave. That's your job, not mine. After that, she hastily stands up from the bed and moves away from my grasp, a gesture that makes me want to laugh. She seems to have forgotten that I can catch up with her if I so wish. How cute. Get ready and come down, Aunt is making breakfast. Blowing me an air kiss, she turns around and saunters out of the room while my bulge continues to increase. As soon as I saunter into the office, everyone stands up to greet me. This is the first time I am coming to the office since the wedding, and from the look of things, everyone is still on the matter because I can see the looks they have on their faces and their hushed tones. That is by the way, I have no time to linger on such things. Good morning, boss. Maria walks up to me with a smile on my face. It is good to have you back. Well, I have a snitch around me, so it is not a shock that I am back. She laughs heartily and follows me into my office. After settling down, Maria drops a few documents on my table. These are the documents that need your signature, sir. How important are these? Very important. I will have Michelle sign them and have them returned to you. I am not the owner of the company anymore. You haven't even given her the papers yet, sir. That doesn't still change the fact. I tell her, make arrangements for a meeting in an hour. I have a few announcements to make. Okay, boss. Just as she turns to leave, my eyes catch the mark on her neck and I stop her. What happened to your neck? Maria touches her neck for a second and gulps. It is nothing, sir. I just... Don't you dare lie to me, I grit. What happened to your neck? It's not your boyfriend now, is it? For all I know, you do not have a boyfriend yet. She is silent for a while, her eyes looking everywhere but me. Don't keep me waiting. Maria, Nicholas was at my house yesterday. She finally drops the bombshell and a huge frown appears on my face. What did you say? I had gone to get something from the convenience store, and when I got back, he was standing in front of my gate and he did this. Anger immediately surges through me as I immediately spring up from my chair. How dare he assault my assistant? Take the rest of the day off and get yourself checked at the hospital. I am fine, sir. I just... Do not argue with me, Maria. I cut her off. Do as I have said and do not schedule any meeting. Not waiting for her response, I pick up my phone and saunter out of the office immediately while dialing a certain number and pressing the phone against my ear. Where are you? I speak into the phone on my ear. Why? Do you miss me? His annoying voice reached me, and by the moon goddess, I swear I want to rip him into 1,000 pieces. Where are you, bastard? Let's see. A mocking chuckle leaves his lips. I will text you my location. I also want to see you. I end the call and hasten towards my car. Nicholas is going to wish he never met me today. As soon as I open the door, I rush towards the man standing a few feet away from him and whack him hard across the face. I don't wait for him to regain his composure before grabbing his neck and pushing him to the wall, my claw digging into his neck, and I swear I want to kill him. How dare you, Nicholas? I growl in anger. How dare a lowly man like you try to get my attention every single time? He tries to push me off with a blow to my stomach, but I don't move an inch. He is no match for me. How dare you, Nicholas? What? He half yells and push me off, making me stagger back a few feet. I lunged at him immediately and sent my feet crashing into his chest, making Nicholas fall to his knees, and I grabbed his neck again. How weak! There are 3 women you are not allowed to mess with, Nicholas. My voice is as clear as it can be. My wife, Izzy, and Maria. Never in your life look in their direction again, or I swear, since when did Maria get into that mix? His lips curl into a mocking smirk. I can understand for Michelle and Izzy, but who exactly is that Maria to you? We appreciate your loyalty. Why are you so protective of her? Do you love her just like she loves you? I send another slap on his face and kick him again. I am warning you for the very last time, Nicholas, or your end will come sooner than you expect. Don't provoke me. I eat alphas like you for a snack. I let go of his neck and made to leave, but he halts me again. I am not that easy to get rid of, Enzo, he tells me. Until I get my wife back, I will do everything possible, and you know that. You cannot stop me. You have tried countless times, and I will always be one step ahead of you. And should I tell you something? I return my gaze to him as a wicked smile appears on the base of my lips. I think it is time I add fuel to the burning fire. If you have enough time on your hands, I want to let you in on something, Nicholas. If you really loved Michelle like you claim you did, you would have knew she was pregnant when you sent her away. His eyes open wide as saucers while the smirk on my face widens. What did you say? Nicholas immediately asks with a confused look on his face. Pathetic, I blurred in anger before walking out of the room hurriedly. Now I will wait for him to recover from the shock of his own foolishness. Nicholas's POV. As soon as those words left Enzo's lips, I felt my whole life come to a standstill, and I wanted to ask him how it was possible, but he was gone before I could even say a word. How could she be pregnant for me? How was that even possible? Michelle never mentioned it to me, so how come? The more I think about it, the more confused I become. Picking up my phone immediately, I dial Pete's number and he answers. Tell them to get the jet ready, we are going back home. I need to get to the root of the matter. How can Michelle be pregnant with my baby? I swear I am going to make Enzo pay if it is a lie. I grab my jacket and hurry out of the hotel room, and in no time, I am on my way to the airport. The thought of Michelle is lingering in my mind, and I have never been more tormented than I am at the moment. If what Enzo said was true, the moon goddess needs to punish me for throwing her and my unborn child away. How could I do that and accept a child that didn't belong to me in the first place? This could be our karma, my wolf says deep inside of me, but I completely ignore it. I just hope this isn't true. As soon as the plane lands, I order Pete to drive straight to the West Side Hospital. Immediately Pete brings the car to a stop. I hastily alight and make my way into the hospital and towards Dr. Mandy's office. He is attending to a patient when I enter, but that is the least of my problems right now. Master looks surprised to see me. Mandy is one of the wolves in my pack, and that is why he readily becomes Michelle's gynecologist since we began preparing for a baby. I want to speak with you, I tell him, and he nods immediately before turning to the lady in front of him. Can you do well to excuse us? Of course. As soon as the woman is out, I return my focus to him again. What brings you here, Master? I run my fingers through my already disheveled hair. Was Michelle pregnant? I ask him immediately, and I see a look of confusion hovering over his face. Master, his voice trails off. You are under oath, Mandy, I blurt out in anger, don't you dare think of lying to me. Was your Luna pregnant? Were you aware of it? He is silent for a while, but I can feel the fear emanating from him. He knows what I am capable of doing, and I will not hesitate to sniff the life out of him if he dares to lie to me. I take a hold of his neck and shove him against the wall, my wolf threatening to come out and tear him into a million pieces. Answer the question, I yell into his ear, my anger skyrocketing in with each passing minute. Yes, Master, Mandy answers after a while, his eyes turning red. Luna Michelle was pregnant. My whole world comes crashing down and I see my life flash before my eyes. How can this be possible? How could she be pregnant? Why wasn't I aware of it? How? So why didn't you tell me, Mandy? I tighten my grip on his neck. I am your master and you are under my command. How dare you hide such a thing from me? I am sorry, Master. Mandy forced the words out of his mouth. She made me promise not to tell anyone, not even you, and I had to respect her wish since she didn't want to let you know. I let go of his neck and slump on his chair, pain and sadness emanating from me. I can clearly remember on those days when Michelle would cry and beg the moon goddess go give her a child, on those nights when she couldn't sleep because she thought she has failed as a wife and as a Luna. All that suffering, and the only thing I could do was give her divorce papers and send her away when she was with my child? I am sorry, Master. Mandy continues to speak again. She was also going through a lot at that time. She developed a tumor which was a threat to her and the baby, and I suggested an abortion, but she would hear nothing of it. She was determined to give birth to her baby. Why didn't you tell me? I bellow in anger. How could you hide something so important from me? I also wanted a baby, and that's why I didn't hesitate to let go of her. Pulling my body out of the chair, I make my way out of the office with my head hanging in shame. I am the worst alpha to have ever been born. How could I throw her away when she had my baby growing inside of her, and what more? She was battling a stomach tumor. I lower myself on one of the chairs and bury my face in my hands. I don't even know what to do at this moment. How can I ever face her again? How can I look her in the eyes and tell I love her? I left her when she needed me the most. I left her when she was dying with my baby inside of her. You are pathetic right now, my wolf says inside of me, its voice full of sarcasm and mockery, and I know for a fact that it is right. I must be the joke of the century. I don't know for how long I have been sitting here until a hand prods me and I look up to see Lucy. You are crying, Nicholas, she tells me while perching on the space beside me. I am unable to hold myself and I crash into her embrace and I allow the tears to fall freely. I have done the most evil thing under the moon and I wonder if I will ever be forgiven. Pete called me, Lucy tells me. What happened? Why do you look so devastated? Why? Michelle is pregnant for me. I drop the bombshell and I see how her eyes open wide as saucers. What do you mean, Nick? The woman who was pregnant for me, who had my baby in her womb, Lucy. I threw her out. The words hang in my throat. How will I ever face her and ask her? I don't know anything about what happened or how she pulled through her tumor. How did you know this, Nick? Enzo told me himself and Mandy confirmed it, so the child in her womb belongs to you. I don't know, Lucy. I rake my fingers through my hair. I have to see her. I spring up from my chair. I have to see her and offer a sincere apology. This time I have to take care of her and our baby. I won't let any harm come to her again. I make to leave, but Lucy grabs a hold of my hand. First of all, you should clean yourself up, Nicholas. You look a mess. I do not care. Of course you care, she yells at the top of her voice. You are not some roadside rat. You are Nicholas Woodsborn, and the goddess forbids that you behave like a tout. You and I know Michelle will not make it easy for you, but she is carrying the heir to the pack, and no matter what, it belongs to you. You don't get to tell me what to do, Lucy, I blurt in anger. Of course I do, she hisses at me. You look a mess right now, and I am the only one who can bring you to your senses. Look at you, crying because of Michelle. Our parents didn't birth a weakling, Nicholas. Go home and take a shower. You can be on your way to Los Angeles after that. Go with pride to take what rightfully belongs to you. I keep staring at my sister for a while. I totally understand what she is trying to say and why she sounds so upset and rude. I cannot blame her. I actually look like a mess, standing in the middle of the hospital with tears in my eyes, and what more, I can also see pain in Lucy's eyes. She used to love Michelle like a sister. Come home and take a shower, please, Nicholas, she begs again, but I know deep inside of me she doesn't literally mean a shower. She wants me to put myself together, but how can I when my wife and my baby belong to someone else? Michelle's POV. Greetings of Luna continue to filter into my ear as I make my way towards the pack infantry. Looking around the park house, I make a mental note to come by often to check on things. Hey sister-in-law, Izzy walks up to me and drapes her hand over my shoulder. I would have made preparations for a banquet if I knew you would come around today. I can't help but laugh at her outburst. She sure knows how to joke a lot. It is not too late to prepare for a banquet, dear Izzy, I tell her. You can start, of course my lady, but you shouldn't have bother coming here. The pack healer would have come to meet you if you asked you. I roll my eyes at her, when you clearly didn't tell me about Enzo's injury. I am sorry, but I do not trust you and that brother of yours. A small pout appears on her lips as she comes to a halt beside me. So now I am the enemy? Enzo clearly refused to tell you, Michelle, even after I tried to cajole him. You should have him punished by kneeling under the moon. I can't help but laugh again. Izzy knows how to make her brother mad. I will put your words into cognizance then. Very well then, you do you and I will get my work done, Izzy says again. Let me know if you need anything. After she walks away, I push open the door and ventures into the room. The pack healer, who is busy with something, stands up the moment she sees me and bows gently. Luna, you would have called and I would have answered. I am nothing but your subordinate. You have been busy and I didn't want to bother you, I tell her, and I am not here to waste your time either. I am only here to inquire about Enzo's injury and how long before the antidote is ready. Have a seat, my lady, she tells me, and I lower myself on the chair opposite her. She also does the same before pushing a small body in front of me. The master's injury would have been a lot worse if he wasn't a true alpha. Inside this bottle is his blood, and if you look closely, if darker than it should be. I pick up the bottle and stare at it closely, a small frown appearing on my head when I see how dark it is. It has been corroded with the witch's venom, and it will take a more powerful witch's venom to detoxify the master's body, so now we need to look for a witch more powerful than Adeline. You do not need to worry about that, my lady, she tells me again. I have a friend who is willing to help. I await his response soon. This your friend? Who? A small smile appears on her lips. He is from the Doma tribe, and they are known to be powerful witches that associate well with our kind. He promised to bring me the venom from his master. Wow, I am genuinely impressed. I haven't seen anyone under Enzo who doesn't have something up his or her sleeve. Enzo's ancestors surely selected their pack members with keen eyes. Thank you so much, I say after a while. I hope we can get his feedback soon so the alpha can be well. You do not have to worry, my lady. The antidote will be ready soon. The moment she is done speaking, my phone screen lights up and my face breaks into a smile when I see who is on the line. This man won't let me out of his sight for even a minute. I click on the receive button before pressing the phone against my ear. Hey, are you done? He asks from the other end and my face curls up. I am outside. Come, how did you? My voice trails off. Of course he will know. He knows everything and anything about me. I am on my way. As I end the call, I exchange a few words with the pack healer again before making my way out of the room. Truthfully, Enzo is leaning on his car when I come out and his face breaks into a smile as soon as he sees me. You didn't tell me you were coming here. I would have brought you myself. His voice filters into my ear as soon as I pounce into his embrace. I didn't want to bother you with something so trivial, but you still found out. I think I should find a way of locking you out of my thoughts since you also did same. Enzo chuckles lightly. You know you can't do that, my love, he tells me. Have you satisfied your curiosity now? I have. Good. He pulls me into a kiss. I am about to take you on a date. A date? Curiosity settles on my face. You didn't mention that, and I do not look like I am dressed for a date. I look down at myself and I heave a sigh. I am just dressed in a blue flora dress that hides my already protruding tummy. You look perfect, my darling, Enzo retorts. No one can beat this look better than you, my baby. Are you sure? Are you doubting my words? He raises an eyebrow at me. Of course not. Good. Now let's be on our way. He goes ahead to open the car door for me and I enter. He also does the same, and in no time, he zooms out of the premises. Where exactly are we going, babe? I ask him after a while, my face turning towards him, and I can't help but gulp at how handsome he looks behind the wheels. Are you eating me up with your eyes? He asks, turning his attention from the road for a moment. Can I not do that? Should I undress for you, then? Stop being silly, I chuckle lightly. I don't want you to do that. He nods without saying anything again. After driving for a while, he finally brings the car to a halt and my attention returns to the environment. For what seems like ages, I am speechless. I was so lost looking at this man that I didn't realize where he had brought me. Enzo. His name rolls out of my lips and my voice trails off. You love my surprise. He has brought me to the same place he marked me, the same place we both discovered we were fated to each other. Why did you bring me here, babe? I just wanted to, he answers while pressing his back against the chair. I want to keep staring at your face while listening to the serene sound of the lake and the memory of me making you mine in this very place. I tear up a little. This man is the most sweetest person on earth and nothing can change that fact. This is the perfect date, babe. I caress his face gently. Thank you for this, and I have something else I need to tell you. This time he sounds a bit serious. Tell me, what is it? Enzo goes silent, his gaze not leaving me even for a second, and I realize how shy I get if he looks at me like this. This man is literally everything I have ever wanted and more. He clears his throat again and gently grabs a hold of my hand. I told Nick that you are pregnant with his babies. He drops the bombshell and for a moment I am silent, trying to understand what exactly he is trying to say. What? I finally find my voice. What did you say? You heard me correctly, babe, Enzo retorts. Why did you do that? I had to. You didn't discuss that with me before, Enzo. The thought of Nicholas knowing that I am pregnant for me cringes me out. I never wanted him to find out. I never want my babies to have anything to do with that vile man. He attacked Maria and I was annoyed. I had to tell him. I wanted him to know what he lost and what I gained, but you should have left our babies out of this. Nicholas won't let me have a moment of rest and… Shhhhhh. I press my index finger on her lips. I won't let that happen. I promise. I just didn't want him to find out. Enzo, as soon as I am done, I open the car door and alight. That man didn't have a right to know about my pregnancy. He forced me out when I needed him the most. Even if it has been months and Enzo has already given me the world on a platter of gold, it still hurts me so much any time I think about it or see Nicholas. How I wish the moon goddess will take him far away from me and never to return. He didn't have the right to know about these babies. Tears well up in my eyes, but I sniff it back. He isn't even worth it. Just a few steps away from the car and my phone begins to ring. The moment I see the caller ID, a knot forms in my stomach and I feel like throwing up. How dare she call me after all these time? I click on the end button, but the phone continues to ring again, and this time, I answer and her voice filters through. How dare you call me? Lucy, you are one sly woman. Michelle, she says, her voice full of loath and anger. How could you take Nicholas's baby and give it to another man, and on what basis have you called me? I hiss in anger. How dare you pick up your phone and give me a call? Are you tired of living? That doesn't change the fact that the baby you are carrying belongs to my brother and you have to return if you like it or not. You. Enzo snatches the phone away from before he also puts it against his ear. I can see you are fine now. Maybe I should break your legs this time and make sure you can never wolf out again. He savagely speaks into the receiver, and despite my anger, I can't help but laugh a little. This man is really scary. He ends the call immediately and returns his focus to me, his gaze softening in the process. Come here, kitten, he orders, and I gulp. Now he looks manacking. I am mad at you, I tell him, trying to stand my ground, but he raises an eyebrow and I find myself walking towards him. Should I show you how to properly react to a situation? What? The words hang in my throat as he pulls me in by the waist and crashes his lips against mine. He hungrily presses my mouth open and slides his tongue deep inside of me, and for a moment I can hear his thoughts. Not for a moment will I allow Nicholas to be the reason why you are annoyed. Michelle, I hear his thoughts clearly. He might have put the babies inside of you, but they belong to me. He can bring down the moon. I unknowingly pull closer to him as I smile through his kiss. Did I actually forget what this man is capable of doing? Join our Facebook and WhatsApp group for more updates. Link is given in description. Rest audiobook will be continued in next episode.